Hey guys, a little something different today. No metal detecting. I am down on the Susquehanna River looking for Native American artifacts, looking for arrowheads or whatever might be down here. I've done a few videos on some stuff that I found, but sorry for the wind noise. It's a bit breezy today, but it's beautiful because keeping all the bugs off of me. There's absolutely no mosquitoes down here today. But searching along this rock bar right here, and kind of goes down to the water, but this is an area where of course I found stuff before, but searching along this rock bar here, and unfortunately this tree came down right across a good little section of this where I found points before. But I walked into here, and first thing I noticed, you can see it on the ground, that is definitely a broken point, which is too bad. Boy, that would have been nice. It's a base there. Hold on, let me just get that dirt out of the... Look at that. A beautiful corner notch point. But unfortunately, I don't see the rest of it around. I hate when you get these really nice ones that are broken. That would have been a beautiful point. But I'm going to try to weasel my way in through these sticks here just to check this out. And then I'm going to continue back down this way a little bit. So I'm hoping to be able to show you a few things, but we'll see how it goes. This is my first trip out this year. The Susquehanna finally came down a bit, so this is the first spot that I'm trying this year, and the first time I'm out hunting for arrowheads. So all right, hopefully we'll have something else to show you. We'll see you on the next. All right, next find, I'm kind of searching, like I said, along the little rock bars and the little cuts, and you can see that's like some fresh dirt and stuff. It's all falling out of the bank up here, and there's some fire rock up in there, and I picked up a couple of flakes. But I just picked this up, and I thought it was just a flake, but I think it's a little thumb scraper. I don't know if you could tell, but that edge right there has a few retouching flakes on it, so they definitely used this. You see a couple of little flake scars right along here, and there's a little bit of retouch right along that edge. You see how they just sharpen it out. It's a perfect size. You just fit in your finger like that, and just be scraping hides or whatever. But not much, but it's a little artifact. Definitely an artifact anyway. And you should be able to see the retouching flakes right there. But okay, I'm going to continue. This bank looks promising, but water's still up a little bit, so I like to search down in there, and of course it's underwater right now, so won't be doing that. But I'm gonna go up past that log right there and then turn around and search a little bit more, a little bit lower. So all right, hopefully there's more. See you on the next. All right, been a little bit. I just switched locations. There's another spot close to where I was, and decided to check this out. Now the river is a little too high. There's a cut, it steeps off like this, and it kind of goes all the way up there. And that's usually where I find a lot of stuff, but sometimes I find stuff up in this. And I was just walking over there, and I just came up on this. Now it's broke, but definitely a point. Small, but boy, I'm king of the broke today. But that's a nice little point. That would have been cool if it was all there, but oh well, this is the right spot, so I'm gonna keep looking. Maybe we can get a whole one today. If I can beat the rain. It's supposed to be raining pretty soon, so hopefully I can get this area searched. But all right, hopefully there's more. See you with a full point, hopefully. Catch you on the next. All right, I'm back with another one. Believe it or not, that is a point. Now it doesn't look like it, but I'm very familiar with this material. This is argillite. This is a Fox Creek blade. They're not extremely old. These are going into the mid to late woodland. I think at the archaeology site where I've worked at in the past, these have dated, I think they were around 300 BC. Now don't hold me to that, I'm not sure, but I can When I do a wrap-up later, I can find out the exact dates, but... And, of course, looks broken, but... Very cool point. And I have found these here before, so... There's a boat that just came by and is giving me a lot of wave action, but that cut, you see where that rock is there? That cut that I like to look at is under there, so this river's got to go down another, I don't know, another foot or two, and then that cut will be out, and I usually find a lot in that cut, so give it a couple of weeks, see what happens. But all right, I'm going to continue. See you on the next. Alright guys, I'm back out on the river again. Those last couple of clips you saw were from a few weeks ago, and gave the river some time to come down. Last time I was here, you see those rocks there, they were underwater, so got a nice decent stretch to look at that's freshly exposed. But I just found some little bit of something that shows you the evidence that they were here. Here's a piece of Native American pottery, and I'm finding pieces of flint. So not much, but at least it tells you that you're in the right spot. You can see the clay there and the little chunks. There might be like shells tempering that, but definitely a piece of Native American pottery. So I came down with my sister today. We're gonna scour this bank a little bit better and hopefully find something else to show you. All right, see you on the next. All right guys, so 5 minutes ago I just took the clip of that little piece of pottery. It was right there, and I said that I was going to work this bank down through here, and I came up around a little patch of grass, and sure enough, we got one. You can see that's exactly how it was laying right out on the surface like that. And it's going to be a Susquehanna broadpoint, very typical of the points that I find down here. But as you can see, the tip is knocked off of it. That's okay, it's identifiable. And got something to show for the trip. So all right, hopefully there'll be some more, but this is what we're down here looking for. All right, see you on the next. All right, I just did that video of the Susquehanna broadpoint about 30 seconds ago, standing right there, and got back up, took a look over here, and this is a hard point to pick out, but that right there is argillite, and it's broken, and this is very typical for Fox Creek points, but it's made out of argillite, and that's definitely an artifact. See the purplish color where it's wet. Now, this type of material it's a soft stone. It was very typically used by, in this area, we call them Fox Creek, and these are right in the woodland times, you know, right around 2,000 years or so, roughly in that time period. But that could be a drill form of a Fox Creek type point. Usually they're a bit thicker and more like lancelet looking, so that could have been kind of whittled down and make a little bit of a drill. But hey, another find. It's broken, but that's okay. At least we're finding some stuff. So all right, I got about maybe 2 hours of daylight, so my sister and I are going to continue on up the riverbank and see what else we find. See you on the next. Okay, been a little bit. Been still picking up flakes and some small pieces of pottery as we go. We actually turned around and are coming back through the same area we walked, but did find an artifact. It's not a lot, but perfect little net sinker there. See where they chipped off a corner there. And you can see it's purposely done. But they would have had grass nets that they would have used for fishing, and to hold the nets down from floating in the water, they would attach net sinkers to them. So, a little something. Not bad, but it's getting to where it's going to get a little bit late here. It's going to get dark soon, so we're going to be heading out, but I'll turn this back on if we find something else. We'll see you on the next, or I'll do a short wrap-up on the stuff that I found from the last 2 trips. Okay, decided to get out again today, do a little searching for some Native American artifacts, and I just came to a place I haven't been in a while, and obviously not going to show it right now, but I've only been here about 10 minutes, and I started walking, and I happened to notice, I don't know if you can see that, but right here, laying right out in the open. Nice point. Looks like a Lamoka type point. This area is different from the last clips that you saw in my last video, or I'm not sure if I'm going to add this with that one yet or not, but all right. I know they're here. I've collected here for years. I've walked these banks and this stretch of the river for a long time, so I know they're around here and there, but great start. 5 minutes in. All right, hopefully there'll be more. See you on the next. All right, guys, hasn't been 5-10 minutes, and I just come across another one. I mean, you really got to look for these sometimes, especially in the rocks. See right here. I mean, I just happened to the right spot. Oh, tip is missing, but still, they're definitely in here. Show you a little something. You can see there's fire rock all over the place in here. Let me see here. Of course, I can't find any when I'm looking for it, but this bank here has got, there's some right there. Some fire popped rock. And this is the stuff you got to look for, the fire rock and some flakes, and you'll find points. So, all right, I'm going to continue walking slowly. If you walk fast, you're going to miss the stuff. Especially, you look at this, you see all the rocks and stuff. It's very hard to pick out stuff like this, but over the years I've developed a bit of an eye, and I still miss stuff, but still. All right, we'll see you on the next. Okay, been a while since I turned the camera on. Probably about 2 hours. I took a real long walk past where I normally find things, and just wanted to go down and check it out. And I did find an old bottle, but I'll show you that in the wrap up. But I came back to the area where I found those first two, and check that out. It doesn't look like much, but it is a point. Pretty crude, but I'll take it. It's all there. You see, there's base is all there. So that's 2 full ones and broken one, which wasn't that bad. Just the tip was knocked off of it. But all right, I got a little bit of time left. And then I'm going to get out of here. It started raining a little bit before, but not bad. So it's actually a nice day. I prefer cloudy days when I'm out looking for points. Just makes things easier. But all right, we'll see you on the next or on the wrap. Okay, guys, this is going to be the wrap up on what you saw, those clips that I just showed you. This was from 2 or 3 different trips out on the Susquehanna River. A little bit different than what I've been showing. No metal detecting for the past couple of weeks, actually. It's been way too hot here in Pennsylvania. As in the rest of the country, it's just been, in the 90s, high humidity, just terrible. So I did get out on the river a little bit and managed to make a few finds. You saw the clips. This is pretty much some of the flakes that I found. Some nice ones too. It was the outside of a cobble there that was smashed off. I think I did get a clip, sorry about that, of some of the pottery. I found 2 pieces of pottery at that first place. And you can see I believe that might be quartz that's crushed up to give the pottery temper. I did find 1 net sinker, and that would have been used to weigh down the natives used to weave grass nets, like fishing nets, and of course they would float on top of the water, so they would make these net sinkers to attach to it so that it would keep it down in the water. Like I said, a lot of flakes. Here's some of that rhyolite. You can see you get a good look at that there. This stuff is very typical of the material that most of the Susquehanna broadpoints are made from in my area. That transitional archaic period. And you can see they're quite distinctive. They have these bands. It's a really hard stone to work with. And most of this comes from south of where I am. I'm up in the Wyoming Valley in northeast PA. A lot of this stuff comes from southern Pennsylvania, down past the Allentown area, and beyond. So kind of neat to see the evidence of, you know, the trading network that they would have had coming up and down the river, or actually traveling down to where these sources of flint are and coming back up with them. I found a ton of this in my area, and none of it belongs here, so that's pretty cool. But let's see, got the net sinker. I got this piece, looks like it was heat treated, might have been in a fire. Piece of chert there. You still see it's just a small cobble, but definitely heat treated. But as far as the points, I did get that little broken Susquehanna broad point there. Not sure what type of point this is, but it's made out of that sugar quartz, I believe. Too bad the tip is gone off of that. Been a nice little point. Let's see, I got this, let's see, this was the little end scraper that I got. If you could, let me see if I can get it to focus. If you look at that edge there, you can see the little retouching flakes on it. And this would have been used as a little scraper to scrape like hides or whatever. Could have been held just like this, or even put in a little wood handle and used to scrape down on hides or wood or whatever. When I was looking at the flakes, I also found that. Didn't know it at the time when I picked it up, but it's actually a broken point. It's in pretty rough shape, but you can see the edge right there. It's broken, but still an artifact. That was a little heartbreaker. Beautiful corner notch point. I'm not sure exactly the type on some of these. Now, if this is what they call in Pennsylvania, Jack's Reef type point, it would put it in the woodland times. And you're looking at like right around, you know, maybe 1,500 years old, like around, I think the dates on these are around 600 AD, which makes them, you know, about 1,400 years old, you know. Just pretty neat. I also got these 2 Fox Creek blades. Again, not sure exactly on the type. There's these Fox Creek blades, they actually, some of them are more of a lancelet shape, and some of them have stems on them. Now, I've seen them like this here in Pennsylvania, where they almost have these little shallow side notches in them. And this stone is really, it's a poor material, but it was used a lot by these specific people that were making these. And you can see this is almost like a drill form. It's the same material. And like I said, these would have been Fox Creek blades, which would, again, that site, I know that it's mostly woodland and transitional archaic. So this Fox Creek stuff here, approximately like around 400 BC, which would make it like, I don't know what, like 1600 or no, 2600 years old. Hey, math wasn't my strong suit. Anyway, it's pretty old, about 400 BC. And most of these points, they're found a lot in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. A lot of this material comes off of near the headwaters of the Delaware River, so they're kind of scattered in this area. Let's see, same idea with the Susquehanna broad points. They're generally known for being along the Susquehanna River, like the Susquehanna River Valley, and they were also spread, kind of spread out, mainly along the Susquehanna River in Pennsylvania, but also like New York, New Jersey. They've been found even as far away as like Connecticut and Rhode Island, according to some of the dispersion maps that I saw. Anyway, the last hunt that I did was at a different location, and I did pretty good there in one day. Again, you see some of that rhyolite, some of this gray banded, grayish bluish banded stuff. And pretty neat pieces of flint. But a couple of flakes, but I did manage to get 4 artifacts. Oh, little marble there. That point there, that projectile point, I believe is a Lamoka point, which would put it into like a mid-archaic period. Not sure though, so I'm kind of hesitant to go with a type on that one. I got this triangle point that, again, I'm not exactly sure on the type. It almost looks like it wants to have some little bit of notching right there. A very shallow notch, like an eared triangle. There's a point here called a Brewerton, which actually has, I think it's like 4 different styles. There's a corner notch variety, an eared notched variety, an eared triangle, which that almost appears to be like, and a side notch variety. And I mean, if it is, the Brewertons are going back, some of them are as far back as 4,000 to 5,000 years old. So it would be a pretty old point. But again, I'm hesitant to say exactly what type it is because I'm just not sure. Did find another broken Susquehanna broad point. And this guy here, you could see it was a cobble, but you could see all around it, it was being worked. Now, there is a type of artifact here called a humpback knife, which I've seen from other areas too. And this very well could have been on its way to being something like that, or is something like that. Definitely a tool of some sort. They definitely picked up a cobble and were working with that. So, you know, definitely an artifact. I have 1 or 2 of these, but not with such a severe hump on it. And the 2 that I found previously, it was a couple years back, but they came from the same general area. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's what this is. Also, too, found an old bottle when I was there. I thought it was actually an older Coke bottle, but I think I looked on the bottom here, and it is a Douglas. It says Douglas, and let me see, Douglas, Arizona, A-R-I-Z, I believe Arizona. And if that's what it is, I looked some of them up on, I think it was on eBay, and these date back into the 60s. So I thought it was going to be an older Coke bottle. It isn't. Might have even had like a screen print on this. I'm not even sure, but definitely not real old. It's got a lot of rash on it, but I dug it right out of the gravels. I saw the little piece of it sticking up. So got an old bottle there too that time. But anyway, that's the hunt. There was one other thing I wanted to show you. 2 of the books that I use, they're a little bit older, but it's always good when you're whatever area you might be in, whatever area you might be watching from, always try to get yourself a good identification book that's local to your area. The 2 that I use the most is this guy here. It's a Typology and Nomenclature of New York Projectile Points by William Ritchie. Now, it is a little bit older. This was written in the 70s. Yeah, reprinted in 89. Let's see, revised in 1971. Even though it's older, the information is still valuable. And what it does is it describes the different common point types in this area. But as you go into the back, it shows you different plates of pictures from the points. Like this one here is the Brewerton corner notched points. And it gives you some of the examples that were found in New York. This book was, this was like a bulletin that was put out by the New York State Museum. So there's some Clovis points. It's helpful because the New York types that are in here are the same types that we see in Pennsylvania. Oops, sorry about that. I'm doing this one-handed, but there's some of your Madison points and some other, these are Meadowwood points. But it's good because it's local to my area. The other book that I use here a lot in Pennsylvania, let me just get this out. This is called Projectile Point Typology for Pennsylvania and the Northeast. And it was written by Gary Fogelman. He used to be the publisher of Indian Artifact magazine. Now, I know he retired several years ago, and the magazine is no longer in print. And he also had several books. Now, I'm not sure where you can get this from. I don't know if it might be on, you know, something you can get off of Amazon. Can't order it from him anymore where I got these, but it was written, you can see what it has is detailed drawings of the different types of points, but it also gives you the period, the time period, who it was named by, a brief description, and the dispersion area. And usually at the bottom, it usually has like a little map with a shaded in area of where they most commonly occur. So it would be better, I think, if it had actual pictures, but it's a very good reference for the Pennsylvania area. And like I said, I use this book a lot. Of course, no one book is the, you know, end-all be-all or the Bible of projectile points, but I always try to find something that's local to the area. It kind of helps out with some of the identification. And this one was written, let's see, second printing, 92. So this was written in the 80s, 88. But nevertheless, it's a good typology book. I know a lot of people, I see like a lot of people that use different books, like they'll use like the Overstreet's guidebook to projectile points. And I mean, that's fine, but I always prefer to use something more local. But anyway, there you have it. Had a successful couple of hunts. Like I said, it's been a while since I did some metal detecting. I do have one trip that I had recorded that I didn't put together yet. So I'm hoping to put a video out on the last metal detecting trip, hopefully soon. But anyway, until then, thanks a lot for watching. Really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button for me. And if you're not already a subscriber, I'd appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. And everybody take it easy, be careful, and I will see you out there on the next trip.